The best and worst zombie movies of all time. Hey guys, today we're going to list the best and worst zombie movies of all time. Let's get right into it. Worst. Number 8. Night of the Living Dead went public. With his Night of the Living Dead trilogy, George Romero essentially invented the genre, but due to some legal blunders, the original zombie movie fell into the public domain. Night of the Living Dead 3D was born as a cheap cash-in, and the public suffered as a result. The tasteless reimagining of the Romero classic, which was in every way offensive to the original, did not sit well with fans or critics. However, this was not the first remake. In 1991, Tom Savini remade the title with far better results. Tony Todd, a young Candyman, also gave an excellent performance in Savini's Night of the Living Dead. Number 7. Rave to the Grave isn't a party you'd want an invite to. Horror as a genre tends to have a bad reputation for regurgitating the same old ideas, recycling franchises and characters as if the environment depends on it. Return of the Living Dead was once an exciting, amusing, tongue-in-cheek look at the undead hordes. But after several brainless installments, it's become the cinematic equivalent of flogging a dead horse. Despite director Ellery Elkamans' experience with the horror comedy genre, he directed Eight-Legged Freaks in 2002, Return of the Living Dead 5, Rave to the Grave takes the series to new lows. Awful acting, unbelievable special effects, and a plot that is almost non-existent makes this film nothing more than an exploitation of a well-known name. Number 6. House of the Dead should have kept living on consoles. Video game adaptations have improved in quality in recent years, with Pokémon Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog being prime examples of near-perfect transitions. For a long time, the video game movies appeared to be destined only for the bargain bin at the local DVD store. German director Uwe Boll was the undisputed king of these bad video game movies, with his 2005 adaptation of Alone in the Dark being regarded as one of the worst films ever made, regardless of genre. Boll's first disastrous video game adaptation, House of the Dead, based on the popular Sega game of the same name, was arguably even worse. On IMDb, the film currently has a dismal 2.1 rating. Best. Number 5. Train to Busan. Zombies from Korea on the train. This fierce, fast, and frenetic splatter film takes George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead template, in which a group of survivors retreat into an enclosed space to repel zombie attacks, and sets it in motion. It wasn't originally. It is without a doubt a fantastically entertaining film. Peninsula, the sequel, fell short of the original's mayhem. Fingers crossed that the inevitable American remake directed by The Night Comes For Us, Timo Tjahjanto, can deliver the gory goods. Number 4. The Return of the Living Dead. This is the first outright zomcom, a glorious slice of splatterpunk in which a vat of military-grade toxic waste transforms the residents of a small town into flesh-hungry crazies, with only the local teenage dropouts able to stop them. It's not high art, but it's bloody entertaining, thanks to Alien co-creator Dan O'Bannon's writing and direction. It's also one of the most influential post-Romero zombie films. It's the first to explicitly state that the undead prefer brains, with one particularly gloopy gal explaining that they're the only cure for the agony of death. Number 3. Shaun of the Dead. Simon Pegg rose to fame as a result of Edgar Wright's romantic comedy, which also established Wright as a cult figure. The movie, which plays the Romero trilogy for big, very British laughs, manages to strike a balance between outright silliness and surprisingly tough gore, with just a hint of romance around the edges of the picture. Why does it seem like London is being taken over by a never-ending stream of zombie parades? It is entirely Pegg and Wright's responsibility. Number 2. Night of the Living Dead. George A. Romero's hugely successful first statement on the zombie phenomenon set the template that endures to this day. The dead rise, a group of people seek refuge in a remote location, everyone dies horribly. But this is more than just a near-perfect horror film. Night, an independent production shot on handheld cameras guerrilla style, opened the door for every ambitious no-budget filmmaker since, proving that mass audiences could stomach unsatisfying endings. The casting of a black actor as the lead was a risk, but the film is full of shocking moments, including one in which a child literally eats her parents. It's also hauntingly beautiful. Number 1. Dawn of the Dead. The film industry was fundamentally altered by Romero's Night of the Living Dead, but the director's first sequel, Dawn of the Dead, is unquestionably his best work. The zombie apocalypse is drawing closer, and 4 survivors from different social classes are looking for safety in a large shopping mall located outside of town. However, the undead absolutely adore this location and they keep coming back. After what is widely considered to be one of the most grudgingly intense opening acts in the history of horror films, the movie makes a sudden transition and becomes an upbeat adventure film. It then transitions into a character comedy and finally into a topical satire, before going back to splat for the monumental conclusion. The pacing is excellent, the script is hilarious, the score, which was composed by Italian prog legends Goblin and horror maestro Dario Argento, hums, squeaks and pounds, the performances are excellent, and the satire is extremely cutting. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.